welcome to round 2 of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. We're here at Queensland Raceway, and it is going to be an incredible night of drifting action. Myself, Jared McLean, and Tegan Peck going to bringing you some of the action out here tonight. Tegan, your job tonight, down in the pits. What are we planning?
Yeah, we're going to be down the pit lane, checking out all the results after the rounds. We'll have a couple of chats with the guys as they come in. We'll try and catch as many stories as possible. Make sure that if any action goes on or misaction goes on out on track, we have a chat with the guys and find out exactly what's going on.
Well, of course, coming off the back of round 1 at Sydney Motorsport Park, a heated final between James Abbott and Ben Barnes, the season rookie.
Yeah, it was very cool to watch. You know, it all came down to that final bit, and they ran it and ran it. And Ben Barnes, he put on one hell of a show and really gave it to James Abbott, but James Abbott came away with the win.
James Abbott, of course, one half of the Hi-Tec Blaze unit. Now, we have qualified the drivers, and just to spice things up, after setting our qualifying up, we decided to throw our top 4 out back on track for a shootout. And it was an incredible affair. Scott Shembry, originally qualified in 3rd, was able to take home top spot, putting him right at the top of the battle tree. James Abbott, the second half of the Hi-Tec Oils Blaze unit, finds himself in 2nd. It's going to be an absolutely incredible event. What are you really looking out for?
You know, we're at Queensland Raceway, so much can happen. We seen it last night. You know, they took a bit to dial the cars in. We really started to see it come into form as they went on through the night. I'm really hoping, you know, Ben Barnes right up there towards the end of round 1. I want to see some underdogs really put it to the top guys and put it all down to the final battle.
Well, let's find out a little bit more about what goes into judging tonight's competition.
Hey guys, just want to give you a quick rundown on what we as the judges are looking for in tonight's battles. Firstly, the lead car, the whole job for them is to actually run a 100-point line. Get out to all the rear clipping zones and hold them out there as long as they can with max angle and max smoke. And then secondly, we want the chase car to be able to emulate, or if not improve, the line and angle of the lead car. What we're going to do, if the lead car has a mistake or anything, they're probably going to get penalized a little bit more because it's going to be hard for that second car to actually chase them down. So really, a lot of the proximity and the angle is based on the lead car doing a really good lead, and then the chase car being tucked up right in the pocket on the other guy's door, switching close and make it look absolutely awesome, and they'll get advantages from that area.
So, Scott Shembry will take on Ricky White. Kieran Rackleft against Benke Brune. James Abbott against Chris Sadler, and Ben Barnes find himself against Glenn Ormerod. It's all to play for here at round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Queensland Raceway. We've got our top 8s racked and stacked. And that is our top 8 signed and sealed. Ormerod does have a partner as we get set. Scott Shembry and Ricky White take to the track.
Here we go. I'm expecting big things from Shembry. Let's see if he can do it again.
Ricky White looked like he could hang with the big dogs there on the run in, but a big straighten up. Ricky has to clutch kick, and it's not looking good for our chase car.
Oh, I think Ricky White's in trouble here. Shembry's going to walk away from him at this point. Oh, what is going on here? He's really pushing back in.
Doing his best to try and find the door.
What a run from Ricky.
Shembry.
He's trying to bring it back together, and then he's really pushed.
The problem you're going to have there is Shembry didn't put a foot wrong. He got comfortable with this layout very, very quick. Watch for this big mistake here from our chase car. Not able to pile the angle on. Had to clutch kick it.
Big front wheel lock up there. And Shembry just walks away.
So much grip dialed into that 350. Little bit of an adjustment.
Bit of a twitch there from Shembry as he was working through that transition.
But a great lead run. And I got to say, Ricky doing a fantastic job to claw back that much proximity after a big mistake there in the entry. Scott Shembry was pretty happy to leave the dry setup in the car coming into tonight's competition. Ricky White leads us out.
Here we go. Can he hold it together?
Big, big entry, but hasn't gone wrong. Ricky White with the entry of the night.
He was full power there. He was not going to leave that alone. He wants to make up for that first run.
It's a tough one because you have to wonder if the camera lies a little bit. And whether judges saw that same image, but man, oh man, Ricky White, talk about redemption.
Ricky White bringing it home. What a run.
That is a tough, tough ask. He will cop penalties, but let's check this out. Watch the entry into turn one, hazing the bags, aggressive flick, and the most angle that we've seen.
Full noise. I mean, he's trying to put that in backwards.
Absolutely wild. Washed off a little bit of speed on the exit there. Scott Shembry gathers it up. No major problems there, but Shembry just playing it safe and keeping a nice steady gap. He was with him all the way, closes up on him on the exit.
That's it. Could see Shembry.
So down to the pits with Tegan.
Well, the final winner of the top 16 battle going into the top 8. You came away with second place in the first round at Sydney Motorsports Park. How's the car feeling tonight, and what are you thinking heading into the top 8?
Yeah, pretty excited. Very, very keen to be here, obviously, as always. No, the car's feeling very good. It's very gripped up, very fast. So we've been working at it all through practice yesterday, just to try and get some pace out of it and sort of understand what we need to do to further it and make it more drivable against other drivers. But no, I reckon we're going pretty well so far. So I've got a good team helping me out. So yeah. Excellent.
I seen just before the top 16 battle, before you went out there, I saw you talking with James Abbott, and there was the international storytelling of a race car driver. Where was there a little bit of tips going on there about Queensland Raceway?
Oh, well, mainly just talking about how dry the track is. So yeah, because he obviously went out for the first round of top 16. So yeah, no, I just wanted to see how the track was going. So then I had a rough idea of what to look out for. So no, he's very helpful, very good bloke.
All right, well, all the best, Ben, and we look forward to seeing you as the night progresses.
Thank you.
Great chat with Ben Barnes. Kieran Ratcliffe will lead us out in Nissan.
Here we go. Let's see if Kieran can get that speed into this first entry.
Coming on in, initiates big drag of the handbrake there to get the car in the zone.
Kieran's got the power down, but Benke, he's right there.
Great chase right there on the rear bumper. Bit of a straighten there from both of our drivers. Benke on the grass, doing everything he can to try and hang with Kieran.
Oh, Benke is trying to push him all the way through this run.
The proximity was good.
And did I just see something fly off a car at the end?
Yeah, it's a drift car. Anything's possible. So here we go, launching him down into turn one. And Kieran just hanging the rear and letting the Nissan eat.
Oh,
unreal.
This tri-ace replay. So good to see that again. Look at that. It's right up on the door. That's what we wanted to see. But again, then stepped away.
Yeah, so there was a couple of sections there on the run through the outside zone there for Becky Broom. Big straighten up, trying to maintain that proximity to Kieran, and then getting the wheel out onto the grass again to try and close up the distance. Ben Barnes with a bit of Burson Auto Parts backing. Cut his teeth on hill climbs and Morgan Park sprints. And would you believe it? He's a chocky milk enthusiast and part-time professional dog patter. That's enough of that. Tegan, what have you got?
Well, we're down here in the pit lane with Glenn Omerod through the top 16 battle into the top 8 now. Car feeling good, or much to change in between rounds?
Yeah, car's feeling perfect as always. We haven't changed anything pretty much since we built the car. It's just all do driving, and the car's on point again this weekend. So yeah, we're just here to get it done and go all the way.
Well, let's look forward to seeing you out there. Back up to you boys in the comms box.
So Glenn Omerod looking happy down there.
That is
a quick look over Benke Brune's machine. That thing is absolutely immaculate. Incredible rig.
Here we go. Can he get that power down? Is he getting the grip off the start?
Yeah, Kieran hazing the bags. Couple of sparks. Wouldn't be surprised if that's coming from the exhaust as the Zoo Performance machine fires it into turn one.
Benke Bruin hammered down. How good is this?
And let's look for Kieran to try and close up the gap.
Oh, Kieran's trying to wind it. He's trying to wind it in there. Can he get on it?
Not able to really close it down. A big straighten up to try and get back onto the door of Benke Brune, who has put down an incredible lead lap.
That's it. Benke showed us how it's done there.
Check this out.
On the tri-ace replay, look at this. Big power out of turn one. We've got a great snap here, right out near the Zoo Performance sign. Look at that. from the air, we've got this outside zone. Setting up. Quick transition.
But there, that was it. Through that last corner, spot the difference. Benke Brune into the top 4. And James Abbott out for his battle against Chris Sadler.
I'm looking for full power here from Abbott. Look at him, he's on the throttle hard. He's looking out the passenger window there. Let's see if he can snap it back near that Super Performance sign. Out hard. He is really throwing down here and showing us how it's done.
That drone shot paying dividends.
Chris Sadler just couldn't get back up on it there.
And Abbott absolutely monstering this layout here. Watch this. Big flick initiation there to get the show started.
And look at that wastegate.
It's just setting that track surface on fire. Watch him through. Look how wide he was out through the Zoo Performance touch and go.
Oh.
Hangs the rear entirely out through the outside zone and then finishes it off.
Big power all the way down there to the end.
James Abbott.
Here we go. Power down with big speed. James Abbott's going to have to get right up on his door here.
Sadler throws the Ute in. She's a big girl.
Oh, James was on the door there, but Sadler really is pushing away.
Abbott narrows it up, tries to lock in.
Bit shallow on the angle there from Sadler in the lead.
Hangs it out nicely through the final sector, but right there, monstering him the entire time. James Abbott.
Abbott just kept pushing up on that door.
Let's have a look at this. It's a big commitment from the Ute. Sadler doing everything he can. Not really able to pile on the angle there through the midsection of turn 1.
And here we go. From the air, you can really see the angles here. Get a little bit shallow, but we got plenty of speed.
It was a nice late transition, exactly like the judges want on that prescribed line.
That proximity there at the end, that was on top of each other.
Let's go down to the pits and have a chat. Tegan, who have you got?
Well, we're here with Kieran Radcliffe now. Unfortunately, didn't make it through to the top 8, but not without trying. Style points have to go. I mean, when you talk about leaving it all on the line, you know, the exhaust is touching the ground right here.
Look at the state of it. The quarters come off on practice, the bumper, the side skirts, the tail light's gone. Like, we've just pushed it so hard. That last battle, we got a whack. The exhaust is scraping, making sparks on the ground. The engine's having issues. My dash is flashing at me. Got no power steering. It's just all happening this weekend. I don't know. I don't know why, but just, you know, it hasn't been my weekend, but God, we've pushed through it and we're taking it. Like, we made top 4 qualifiers. We got the battle in the top 4 against Jabs and Glenn Omerod. That's like a dream come true. Like, second battle in pro, and we get to go to the top dogs. And then we still get 2 battles in the top 16 and the top 8. Like, come on. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, I remember from round 1 at Sydney Motorsports Park, I went to have a chat with you. We couldn't quite get there, but the side door on this thing was fairly knocked in. It's still a little bit knocked up.
Yeah, no, so that got a good whack. We were chasing Ricky White, and he was on new tyres, those Tri-Aces, and he's going to pedal the car, and it just snapped back to straight as I've dived in and just collected him with the side door. I think it was deemed he was at fault because of the straighten, but yeah, that door copped a good hiding.
Well, that's Kieran Radcliffe. We'll just have a quick look over here. Now, it's a bright orange suit that you can see, but we've got orange, and I am orange here. So a little bit of work to be done here, but it's also orange. So identifying as orange at this point is Kieran Radcliffe. Back up to you boys in the comms box.
I love it. This is what we love about drifting. Never say die, and until it's in a million pieces, she's still good for competition. This is Omerod, Captain Smooth. Let's check this out. Can't see an awful lot of rain on the screens, but we'll see what the grip conditions look like. Omerod puts the pedal to the metal with the 8.6.
That's it, he sends it. Look at that angle coming in there.
That is mega.
Here we go.
Barnes right there with him though, Scott.
He's on top of it, isn't it? Look how close he is through that transition.
Check it out. Tries to shorten up the corner. Can't really reel him in, but he's right there for the transition into the final sector. And Barnes looking good. Omerod just flawless.
Omerod, cool, calm, and collected.
Man, he is a force to be reckoned with. Omerod is doing the crew proud. Here it is. Big initiation, drags the brake.
And you can watch Omrod here, just looking through the car. You can see that he is calm behind the wheel.
100%, he's in the zone. Out through the outside zone.
He's feeling it.
Just a little dab of the brakes there, and nice and late on that transition. Puts you on that line, wide through that final sector.
And just peeling those tyres.
So we switch them around. Ben Barnes will take on Glenn Ormerod for the final section of their battle to cement our top 4. Who's going through, Barnes or Ormerod?
Let's see if Barnes can make it happen.
He's got a big ask.
I've seen
Rescue flick, and look at the angle here from Barnes.
Big entry. Hammer down. He is walking away. Ormerod's going to have to work hard here if he wants to show him how it's done.
Yeah, Ormerod sacrificing angle for speed to try and close up the distance there. Barnes aggressive on the transition.
Oh, Barnes pushing all the way through. What a drive.
Fantastic run there from Barnes and Ormerod. You've got to love it. Here we go. One more time.
That is a big entry.
Yeah, Barnes put everything he had into that Versum Auto Parts machine.
He left nothing behind on this run. That is a real push.
Super aggressive. Be interesting to see the drone shot. Unfortunately, not available to us. But Ormerod really looked like he closed up the angle there to try and chase Barnes down on the run through the outside zone.
That is sensational.
And it was so tight, the judges deemed one more time to be necessary.
Here we go. We're on. And we're away.
Ormerod leads us out. And waiting to get that pace dialed in.
There we go. Big entry from Ormerod. He has got it. Oh!
It's a deceptive camera angle there, and the edge of the circuit sneaks up on you. Ormerod throws it into the gravel, and Ben Barnes continues on.
Ormerod gave it everything there on that initiation. He had it sideways into that first turn.
So Ben Barnes, last time he came out on the track in that battle against Ormerod, vastly different. Again, track conditions. You're going to hate us for mentioning it, but he was really able to adapt for that, what was essentially a solo run. But look at this, Ormerod, 4-wheel understeer, just...
You can see he's trying to dial it back in. He's trying to catch it, and then, no, sorry, gone.
A bollard into the door there. Now, those bollards aren't there as a zone for drivers to hit. They are there purely to mark the edge of the track. Ben Barnes going out against Ormerod. Ormerod made an off-track excursion. Barnes looking pretty good through there. Ormerod doing everything he can to run with him.
Mate, he's got the power, but can Ormerod bring it back in? He's got the speed, he's got the angle. Can he wide it in? He's going wide again.
Yeah, straighten up there from Ben Barnes on the second half of that outside zone. But getting the job done with a lock, stomp and steer through the final sector. It was restrained from Ormerod potentially. Is he a bit gun shy?
I think he just might be, because he's certainly worried about winding that speed off.
He's also a very calculated driver, and you look at the condition on that 8.6, he's not about to stove it into the side. As the win of the one more time goes to Ben Barnes.
There you go, Ben Barnes, well deserved.
So that was the last piece of the puzzle with our top 4, and Ben Barnes will front up against James Abbott. If you've been enjoying what these guys have been throwing down out on track, why don't you watch on? Let's check out what's involved in getting started in drifting.
Hey, just want to give you a bit of a heads up. A lot of people ask me how do they get involved in drifting. Basically, hit up any of your local racetracks around the area. You even get on Facebook, look for any of the drift clubs. There's always people that are willing to give you a hand and help you get into drifting. Basically, all you have to have is a rear-wheel drive car. Hopefully a manual will make it easier, and a bit of a handbrake that can work, and just get into it and have some fun. You don't have to go too hardcore and too serious at the beginning. It's still one of the greatest motorsports and one of the cheapest motorsports to get involved in. And honestly, as far as the drivers and the people around drifting, everyone's there to give you a hand. If you ask any driver at a drift track on what you need to do to get better or anything, they'll give you a hand and help you out, and that's why I love drifting in Australia. I did it myself. I started just going to wet skid pan days, then eventually going to competitions, and I asked other drivers and they always helped me, and then I'm passing that information on to as many drivers as I can. So guys, head to the track, get your car, have some fun. It's the best thing you could ever do with a vehicle.
Chris Froome with a couple of wise words there on how to get started in drifting. Progress and keep at it. Who knows, you'll find yourself out here with our pro drifters. Aerial shots of this place that we're calling home for 2 days of thunder. The biggest event in 10 years here at Queensland Raceway. Who knows, you'll find yourself out here with our pro drifters with the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series. Check them out on Facebook, Hi-Tec Drift Australia. Of course, it's great to have you there. Join them over on Instagram as well. Jump in and make sure if you're enjoying yourself out there, hashtag Hi-Tec Drift Oz.
There's two fellas having a great night. Look at that camaraderie in the pits.
In the Ben Hodges Zoo Performance car. How's that? High fives all round.
Loving life.
Well, it's been an absolutely massive afternoon and evening of drifting. Let's check out some of the highlights from our top 8 battles. This one was big. Scott Shembry in the chase position here.
And here you can see that dry track. You can see those tyres just peeling as well.
100%. He is renowned for the fog. And there it is.
What a night it's been.
Rack left, unfortunately, not making it through beyond. And that was an incredible run there with Benke Brood. Brood throwing absolutely everything but the kitchen sink at it. Getting a wheel out into the grass. And this will be a really good way to spot when it all changed when the rain came in. Look at the control that these drivers had in the dry time of the event. James Abbott dispatching one of our Utes. I know, shed a tear.
And he didn't bring it there. But it's really interesting to see these dry runs and then compared to the wet runs that we've had later in the evening.
Yeah. Abbott coming through the Victor up against the whole Ute. How is this? Lock, stomp and steer out the back door.
Mate, the Holden Ute there doing Australia proud.
This was the first version of the battle between Omrod and Ben Barnes.
And Omrod just had the 8.6 singing through here.
Look at it, Barnes with the emulation there. Good proximity on the transition.
And that finish, Omrod.
Barnes in the lead now in the run against Omrod. And Omrod not quite holding the proximity for as long. There were moments of brilliance there where he really closed up just like that.
And this is the thing, you can't just do it once, you've got to be able to line it up back to back.
Especially when the judges ask for a one more time, like they did. Scott Shembry out there up against Benke Brood. These are highlights from our top 8 battles. Let's see if we can spot the moment where there was the contact that Shembry was talking about.
And I think this is it, up on him. Looking for the tap, I think that was it.
Happened on the backside of the car. There's no way we were going to catch it. But man, oh man, Shembry got the boot right back into it.
And that's it, a professional level drift car. It's akin to riding a fire-breathing dragon.
Unreal when the exhaust flames out through the bonnet like Shembry's does. It'd feel like it too. Benke Brood, though, I tell you what, if you had to have people's favourites out there, surely he's got to be right up there.
I think he is. Kind of like that limiter that they were bashing.
And how's this? Omrod still looks cool and calm. Yeah, he's got a job to do, but he's not freaking out. Well, let's head on down to Tegan. What have you found?
Well, Benke, I have done a fair bit of pit reporting in my time, and I've seen a fair amount of drivers get animated, but usually for the wrong reason. I just watched you get super excited after that top 16 run. Tell us all about it.
Oh, mate, look, all day I have been struggling with this car. So I was meant to be driving at S13. It's like 340 horsepower. The most horsepower I've ever driven personally is like 600, and it was a grassroots car, yeah? So driving Odge's car today and having like 8 laps total, or 8 laps total including yesterday and qualifying, I just didn't feel comfy at all. And I was really concerned going into the chase that I was going to suck. And to come out like with a win and to drive the car how I know I can drive is just like, it's second to none, man. Oh, I feel amazing.
That is the great stuff that we want to see in racing. Back up to you boys in the comms box.
Benke Bruhn really doing the drifting community a service by just getting excited. We have to say that even though we have had a little bit of moisture out there on track, the more laps that get put down, and here we go, this is going to be a tough one with more water coming in, but the more rubber gets laid down, the track can come alive, as it were, and really provide a lot more in terms of grip and pace and control. But that liquid horsepower, you can really see it. That's quite heavy out there in the tyre warm-up zone. Scott Shembry and Benke Bruhn looking for a spot into our finals. Top 4 is where it's at.
Rain's coming down. We're ready to go.
Benke Bruhn in the Zoot Performance machine, sporting the underglow. All class from Scott Shembry, and he'll lead us into a wall of water. Here we go, look for that initiation, and big drag of the handbrake there. Benke Bruhn sliding it through, and problems there. Both of our drivers in trouble.
It's all come undone here, that wet track.
Yeah, sudden downpour. And Scott Shembry trying to do what he can to resurrect the remainder of this run.
And just get it done, get the job done. You can see he's all over the shop there. He's really having trouble keeping... Yeah, this is hard work in that rain condition.
Absolutely nothing against either of our drivers, but it's like watching a racehorse try to ice skate.
You can see how much those track conditions have changed between these runs.
Now, this is going to be tough. How do you dissect that? How do you judge that? What a job. Here is where it all came undone.
Straight off the back of the first entry.
4-wheel lock up there for the Hi-Tec Oils 350, and Benke so close to burying it right in the driver's door of Scott Shembry.
I think he's had to correct there just to actually stay from coming in contact. And then
slight drop there on the outside as Shembry loops it.
And digging holes, unfortunately. That's tough. That's not what we want to see.
Yeah, but it's an odd one, and without having an ear on what the judges are actually saying, I wonder how they decide this.
Because both drivers giving it everything they've got out there. They're really trying to bring it back together, but that was hard work for both of them.
As here we go. Benke Bruhn leads out Scott Shembry in treacherous conditions. Shembry not holding back, but Benke Bruhn piles on the angle here. Has had a taste of that turn 1 and has its measure.
And Shembry looking to tuck it in there. He's giving it everything he's got.
Benke with a straighten there, coming off the touch and go into the outside zone. He's very shallow.
And Benke holding it together here into this final turn. Can he hold it down?
This is tough. That spin against, well, rather, that spin of Shembry's in that first portion. As Benke's still stoked, that spin of Shembry is really going to count against him.
All right, here we go.
Benke Bruhn adapted quickly to the changing conditions out there. Far better response.
And we've got all the wheel speed and we haven't got any of the smoke.
Tough. It gives and it takes, that liquid horsepower, as we've mentioned.
And Shembry here through this final part of the run, you can see he's pushing up on the door. He's got it there lined up.
Tegan with more from the pits.
As we get a little bit of a warm embrace there from Benke Bruhn. Scott Shembry, a little bit of a tough track out there with a little bit of rain setting in there, but what happened with your run?
Oh yeah, it's pretty wild out there now. It's been sprinkling all night. It dries out. It doesn't dry out. On the entry there, we just threw it in. Banky gave me a little bit of a tap, and we both went off the track and got zeros. I think the tap really didn't affect me too much. We both hit the concrete and got double zeros. And then in my chase run, just tried to put it on him through the middle section. He was a bit shallow, had a little bit straight. And I tried to run the wider line and then just get on his door at the end. Look, the conditions are tough. Well done to Banky in a borrowed car. What a legend. We're just going to keep pushing through. Hopefully it just doesn't rain anymore and we can get a dry track out there for the finals. But look, we're happy with the outcome, happy with the car, and just keep pushing forward.
All right, well, and there's some followers that watching the live stream who have asked me to do something here, so you're going to have to just relax a little bit and just let me just do this a little bit here. And then let's just get a shot together here, because I can't actually grow them, but it looks good enough.
Great
Scotty.
stuff.
There we go. Strong car, strong moustache, strong performance.
Doing it for Hi-Tec Oils. We're noticing in that tyre warm-up there was a bit more smoke coming off the rubbers there.
Might have a little bit more grip here. Let's see what they can do on this initiation.
James Abbott hazing the bags on the run in. It's a good initiation. And Barnes right there
Whoa!
with him, but Abbott's gone off. Did he lose the rear?
And we've overtaken. What's going on?
So Barnes gets out in front and possibly, again, those unpredictable conditions out there.
I think those changing track conditions have really mixed it up.
So hard to tell without being down there, but let's check this out. All going wrong in the first turn for Abbott. You can see him trying to dial it back in and just racking on the steering.
Too much. He's got that big lock kit there and he kept winding it on, but there just wasn't enough to catch it.
So Barnes able to hold it together and continue on the run and make it look good while he was at it. But Abbott is going to be livid after that. Barnes potentially on the run into another finals berth.
Let's go.
Barnes leads us out. Abbott on the skinny pedal.
Big power. Here we go. That is a big entry.
Heaps of smoke through turn one.
Ben Barnes throwing down, really trying to step away from Abbott.
And so far, this is looking good for Barnes. He's wide there, but it really cranks in. And Abbott draws right up on the door. The proximity is immaculate.
That is a good run from both drivers. That is nice work from Barnes and Abbott.
Yeah, supremely chaseable line there, thrown out by Ben Barnes.
This entry, this is a big one.
There was plenty of opportunity there for James Abbott to try and get up close, and he did. Here they come through the outside zone. Little dab of the brakes there, as if he was trying to keep himself off the grass, but able to hold it out super late. So the win going to Ben Barnes, locks himself in for 2 finals in 2 rounds. Teagues, how you going down there?
Yeah, it's going good down here. It's a little bit weirder to see how quiet it is heading into the top 4. You know, cars starting to slow down, but we're in front of a pretty cool story here with Ben Barnes. So round 1 went into the top spot, first versus second, came away with the second spot, now goes back in against Scott Shembry for the final round. Who will it be? Can Ben Barnes advance on what he did the last time and get on the top spot of the podium?
great night of action here at Queensland Raceway. The Hi-Tec Oil Super Series tearing it up. Great to have the icing on the cake here tonight with our Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars.
Mate, that's right up my alley. See that sparkle there in the paint? That's what I'm here to see. I love a drift car with a bit of sparkle.
I reckon that paint job, you could probably weigh in kilos.
Look, good chance, but these are the things we do for fashion.
Here it is, your final has been locked and loaded, but the battle for third between Benke Brun and James Abbott. Scott Shembry taking on Ben Barnes as Barnes looks to go to the top step here at round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Series at Queensland Raceway. We'll see how this all shapes up as we get set. This is your battle for third. James Abbott will lead us out against Benke Brun. And here we go. Time to drop the hammer.
We're on power down. Big entry, here he goes.
Abbott with a correction early on there into the entry, but the line is good as they fire it out towards the touch and go, and Brun narrows it up to try and grab some proximity and goes off track.
Oh, he's out of there. He's going to try and catch up. He's going to try and redeem himself, but I can see bits flying off the car.
Less than ideal.
Oh!
And a big snap, and it's buried itself in the grass of turn 6.
Is not ideal. There's
fiberglass.
A lot of parts coming
peeling
off the car.
Off that, and that is less than ideal for Benke Brun.
Here we go.
Watch this, it's all going so well. James Abbott out in front. Bit of curve there for Brun. And it wasn't until right about now that it went wrong. You saw the angle decrease there for Brun, and it just sends him out towards the bollards of that outer zone.
You can see where he's lost it. He's tried to bring it back. He's tried to come and finish the battle, and then all over.
That was a scary moment there as he's punted off into the weeds. Benke Brun, unfortunately, not going to finish this battle for third. That'll go to James Abbott, the Hi-Tec Blaze unit, who puts on a show to finish off his night.
Brings it home over the finish by himself.
Not how Abbott would have wanted that one to go. No doubt we'll hear from him. This is your final battle here at the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars Round 2 at Queensland Raceway.
In the starting grid, ready to go, waiting for the call.
And still waiting.
Might be a bit of car on the track from that last incident.
Well, it's entirely possible that there are pieces of Zoo Performance machine still scattered out there.
Here we go.
Let's send them. Ben Barnes.
Scott
drop into the chase position.
Shembry in the lead. Big entry, strong initiation. He's got the angle there. He's got the power down. Let's go.
Yeah, big tighten up there from Ben Barnes in turn 1.
Shembry hanging it out wide. Little correction there. Big power as he comes into this last turn 6.
Here we go, through for the final sector. Barnes finally gets the proximity that he's been looking for and locks on.
There we go. Shembry giving him a push all the way.
Yeah, I just don't think that Barnes had it. Watch this moment here. Watch for Barnes. Picked out of the brake and then closes up the angle, shallows up, and really tries to get it right close to Shembry, but at the sacrifice of angle.
I think that has really messed up the start of his run there. Not being able to get that first entry, that first initiation ride, and then having to try and bring back your rhythm. That's hard work.
Yeah, everything from the transition through to the end was fine. Shembry's going to be doing absolutely everything he can to make that the case. This is the last lap that we'll see here tonight.
No mucking around, hammer down on the power. Big initiation is what we're looking for.
Barnes throws it in.
Oh.
Shembry right there with him.
Oh, wheel up.
Wheel up on the curve.
Power down, past the Zoo Performance. Here we go. We want to see these cars getting right out there. Oh, what is going on here?
Yeah,
is that Shembry pushing up almost in front?
So Chambry tucked right in, cranking on more angle as he chases. And that is a solid lap there. Ben Barnes did absolutely everything he could. Check this out, the commitment, dialing in even more angle up on the curb.
And then just throwing it down. Here we go. Big switch here past the Zoom Performance. Right out into the clipping zone. And this is the spot. This is where we nearly had the overtake.
Here we go through that final sector. And it is foot to the firewall. Look at how much more angle Chambry was carrying on the exit of the layout there.
Little mungie to wind it out.
As the frenzy continues, Teagues, you're on the scene.
Yeah, well, I thought we were setting up for the podium, so the cars had backed up against the wall, and I thought we were done, ready to go. But then suddenly it was frantic. Everyone's getting told to get out of the way, and the cars started to go back forwards there, and the judges shouted one more time. So we are going to see Scott Chambry versus Ben Barnes one more time. We've seen this in the opener, the first round at Sydney Motorsports Park. Ben Barnes involved in that one with James Addett. Now we get to see it all over again with Scott Chambry and Ben Barnes. This is going to be cool.
Well, it's hands down and away we go. Scott Chambry leads us out.
Chambry in the lead. He's going to be giving it everything here. Massive entry, big power. Look at him holding that angle. Look at the smoke coming on. I saw a little jump there as well.
Untidy from Ben Barnes as he tags an inside front on the curb, but manages to resurrect it. Holds in tight through the outside zone.
Chambry's got it dialed in here. Power down. Look at that flame coming out of those wastegates.
Look at the smoke pouring off the tyres there for both of our drivers. Chambry is going to feel quietly confident after that. Look for this moment here from Ben Barnes. Dials in the angle and really pulls the tyre across the curb.
Totally misses that there, takes it off-road, and Chambry just shows it how it's done.
Where I was sitting and what I was seeing, Chambry looking good. Barnes did absolutely everything he could with that early mistake.
That early mistake, that's the one that will upset the whole run.
So we'll reset them. And Barnes locked in and waiting. He is ready, and we are too.
Let's go. Let's see if Barnes can wind it up. We are looking for the biggest entry of the night. Can he do it? That's a big entry. Oh! What is going on here? Barnes. Chambry is off track. Barnes is just sending it home by himself.
Great late transmission.
And what a drive.
Parks it on the concrete through that final sector, and Ben Barnes has amazingly, I am stunned for words at how this has all played out.
Here we go, tri-ace replay, let's see it, giving it everything.
Chambry just couldn't get the car slowed up.
And then Barnes walks it home.
This is great, and look, it's hard to tell if he knew that Chambry was there or not. But what a great way to finish.
Chambry was all over him there. He was really getting ready to... And then Chambry just walked it out. And this is what we were talking about, 100%. Had to give it everything. And he's buried.
Look at the eyes through that slit in the visor. Scott Chambry is not a happy camper.
Oh no, he is beached. They're having to pull him out of there.
As we get set, it has been a massive, massive night of competition as we head on down for the final results.
Well, that is round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series done and dusted. Just about ready to get set for the podium, but before we do get into that, one of our many people who is here every single round at Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars is none other than Flash Smith. Now, unfortunately, Flash Smith is going to have to take a bit of a step away from competition while he goes through a bit of illness, but we hope to see him back very, very soon. As Flash starts to come up, we'd like to hand him a little bit of token of our appreciation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Flash. Taking a bit of a step away, and we just wanted to say a huge thank you from Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars.
Thanks. Thanks, I love coming here. I just love Hi-Tec, I love the crowd, love all the people. I like some of the competitors. Like Jabs is good, and Chambry's all right. And yeah, so they're pretty good. and it's heaps of fun. But yeah, we'll come back next year bigger and stronger. And now that I'm on the big boy tyres, oh yeah, they're awesome. They're all those Tri-Ace. Let me get a plug in. Tri-Ace, awesome. Yeah, so good.
All right, well done. Now, moving on, we will get 4th place up here. A man who has enjoyed his night. He's been the happiest man in the pits. Comes away with a 4th place, but you still can't wipe that smile off your face.
No, not at all, man. I'm incredibly happy. Like, this has been a dream of mine for a long time to be able to like show my skills at Hi-Tec, but to be able to drive with like 3 dudes that I've idolised for a really long time. Like Jabbert's been a hero of mine for a really long time. So Shembri, and like they're both good mates of mine. And then Mudge's a good mate of mine, and he's a dude that I've wanted to drive with because we're both RB20 boys forever, and we've never had an opportunity. So to get him was sensational. Like, I've got to thank my team. I've never had a more supportive team than the boys at Kevin Bell and Drift Japan. Like, Russell and Ben are amazing, man. Like, I've never driven this car before. I had a horrible day yesterday. I had a horrible day in practice today. Just didn't feel comfortable at all. And that first chase against Mudge, oh, it was brilliant. So I'm chuffed, man. Like, I also got to thank Sim Magic and Sim Rigs. If it wasn't for my sim today, the sim really, I spent like an hour on it before today. Mate. Oh.
All right, well done. 4th place. You take it away as a win. Benkai Broom. All right, now, on our final step of the podium tonight, not where he wanted to be, but still happy nonetheless. Let's get James Abbott up here. James, didn't get to finish off the full battle. You came away with 3rd place. Got to still be happy with the car and how it performed tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we did a tough tonight. Made it real hard on my team. We had a big crash in practice, and you know, don't know how I got to 3rd. I don't think I did my best driving by any means, but I'll definitely take 3rd. A couple of championship points, and I just really got to thank the team for every time I came in with more problems, they were straight on it and get me back out there as quick as possible. Obviously, Hi-Tec Oils for getting me here in the first place, and Tri-Ace tyres. So we'll take these points, and we'll probably have to try to clean it up a bit for round 3 and get back up there.
All right, James, well, great to see that you're on 3rd place.
Can I also just give a shout out to Benky? He was on fire all day today, and I was really looking forward to that battle, and it's unfortunate the way it went. That would have been a good close battle. I think he was doing really well.
All right, well done. A good sportsman too. And 2nd place tonight, we'll get him up here for a quick chat. Scotty Shembri. Not the way you wanted to end tonight. Unfortunate there. We had a 1 more go, and I thought the Mo flick was going to come in handy and get you up there, but 2nd on the step, still not too bad.
Yeah, look, everyone's here for a show, so I thought, you know, I put out probably the best lead run I've done all weekend, and then Benny's pretty quick, but I thought, you know, if I get some more style points, I'll throw a backie on his door. And unfortunately, power steering locked on and sent me into the sand. But look, killer weekend out here. Just want to thank Hi-Tec Oils for putting it on, all our team for getting back all the boys on the podium. Well done to Benny boy over there in a borrowed car. So look, we'll move on to the next round. 2nd place is still good. 1st place qualifier, and thanks for everyone watching.
All right, thanks, Scott Shembri. Now, your 1st place for round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. Give it up for Ben Barnes. Oh, Ben, you must be absolutely chuffed with that one. I reckon that smile on your face is going to be still there long into Sunday.
Oh yeah, probably. It's going to be hard to wipe it off. No, we had a pretty tough time going through. Alternator shut itself, and I had like no charge throughout like the whole night. It was a big rush. I got to thank all of my guys for helping me. I had so many people just coming in, like lending a hand, changing tyres. Could not do it without those guys. It was just so sick. Drifting atmosphere is something else. It's so good.
Well done. Well, we look forward to seeing you back in round 3. We'll get the podium back up here and throw back up to the commentary box.
Thanks, Teagues, and hard fought and well earned for our podium recipients. It's been a massive round 2 here at Queensland Raceway for the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. From myself and Scotty, we wish you a warm good night. We couldn't have done it without you, the drivers, and of course the fans. Make sure You keep an eye on the socials for the upcoming round of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. Good night.